Aha, smo že šli. Preparing. Setting up.
Smo že tam? Skoraj še?
Če malo.
Ja, oni tudi tako vprašanja, kakšna zastavljajo, ali ne?
Ja, na koncu bo Q&A. Okay, smo live. Hello everyone, welcome to this month's meetup. We will have a discussion about freelancing in illustration. With me are three amazing speakers, Nina Štajner, Matej, Cecco, and Jan Drenovec. We will discuss different topics like clients, technical side of running a business, earnings, personal workflow, and so on. I wanted to start a conversation that shows different paths, how you can build a career in illustration, and maybe a small disclaimer. All the speakers are from Slovenia, so sometimes we will put more focus on that, and we won't focus on translating some terms because they apply just in the sense of running a business here from Slovenia. We can start. I want to start off with a short description of each speaker and of your career path. Maybe Jan, you can start.
Sure. Yeah. Hello. I'm illustrator and concept artist. I started my career by learning from YouTube videos and copying different illustrations that I liked. I studied graphic design at the Faculty of Natural Sciences. During the second year, I got accepted to summer camp at Outfit 7, where I had my first experience working as an illustrator or artist inside the team. After that, I returned back to college, but I started doing daily studies and attending online courses. After that, I applied again at Outfit 7 for a full-time position. I got the job and I stayed there for 3 years. After I gathered the experiences that I wanted, I decided to quit and pursue my career as a freelancer. I took 3 months to build a new portfolio and start searching for clients. And once the portfolio was done, I started sending it around, got a few jobs, and from there on, I basically was expanding my client base. This is where I currently am.
Thank you. Matej?
Hi, I'm Matej Cecco. I started my career kind of out of a hobby, really, because I was studying translation, but I also had a big passion for drawing, and I was doing small jobs for family and friends and everybody who needed something, just sporadically, really, and I wasn't really considering myself. I mean, I wasn't taking myself too seriously about this, and I was just seeing it as a bonus income or something, because I was really counting on university education to get a job and be a translator. So upon finishing it, I mean, I was not finishing it. I still haven't finished it, but I started to translate for money, and the rates were just terrible. And then I somehow decided that maybe drawing is still better to do, something that would bring me better income, and it was more fun. So yeah. Then after short after university, I signed with an agent, and I'm working with him now for 12 or 13 years. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Can I ask which agent?
Umar Artist Agency.
Okay. Thank you. Nina?
I'm Nina. I'm an illustrator and I have been working in illustration for almost 10 years. I graduated in 2013. I studied visual communications at the university, the Academy of Fine Arts and Design, ALO. After my studies, I was actually working at Third Frame Studios, where I designed and illustrated characters and basically all the visuals for Tunia kids apps. I was doing that for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And after that, I started working as a freelancer. In the meantime, while I was working at Third Frame Studios, I actually posted a lot of my work on social media, like, for example, Instagram, or also Behance and Facebook, and just like everywhere. So when I left my position there, I already had a lot of projects in the pipeline. So yeah, then I think I was freelancing for 5 years or something like that. And then in the meantime, I also play a bit with my Etsy shop, where I just, at first, I was selling prints and then coloring book and calendars and enamel pins and all the like small stationery things. So yeah, now I'm still freelancing, doing mostly work for clients abroad, like internationally. And also, I have to say, I mostly work in the segment of kids clothing, apparel, kids nursery decor, mostly doing or toys or stuff like that. So I'm just like the opposite of Jan and Matej, I think. I mean, I found my own niche, and I think I think I'm doing quite well. And so if anyone is considering illustration as a career, I would recommend it. But yeah, that's it. Enough talking.
Thank you. So maybe icebreaker question. What advice would you give yourself to yourself when you started out as an artist? Let's go with Nina.
Do yoga, take more breaks. Yeah, actually, take more breaks and just like keep on going and realize that the bad days will come. You know, when you have like good days and when everything goes well, and then you have the bad days when it's just like, maybe you can draw something for 5 hours and you didn't create anything of value. So you have to realize those days are normal. So just take a break and don't care about it. Because sometimes I would be like, like a drama queen if something didn't go right. So yeah, because consider these kind of days, like they come and go and they're normal.
Okay, Jan?
Yeah, I would recommend taking structured courses sooner, because first you would learn much faster. Plus the big one is, by doing them, I started gaining confidence. And I got loose of that, and I really don't know what I'm doing. But by doing those structured courses, I got a feeling that you kind of know what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, besides learning faster, they really helped me also with confidence, which resulted in better client work and so on.
Yeah, and they also teach you about the workflow that's in the industry, not just doing things the way you're used to. And Matej?
To me, I would give an advice just to invest more time in learning basics and just really develop good fundamentals. This is what I really miss now, because I never had this formal education as an artist, like it's so much easier when you're doing when you're drawing for fun and just kind of take some courses or some live drawing classes or anything really, because it's kind of easier, I think. I mean, later when you're swamped with projects, this kind of thing is so out of reach, you know, because of time, energy, and so on. And but when you're in the middle of a project, you really wish you had better understanding of, I don't know, color, backgrounds, anatomy, and so on. So yeah, this is what I would say to my younger self.
Okay, thank you. I want to move on to clients and work opportunities. So maybe where do you find, or where did you used to find clients and still do? Maybe Jan?
Yeah, I mean, the first client, Outfit 7, I got basically because I searched for clients in Slovenia and also knew people who worked there. So that was my first client. I did a specific portfolio and applied to them and got lucky that they employed me. But now that I'm freelancing, I get most of my jobs through ArtStation. For my type of work, it's best site that I can recommend because the organic reach of my post is quite big. Basically, every time I post a new artwork, I get few new contacts. Besides that, I recommend joining some either Discord groups or online forums, because when you meet some people, establish connections, when they grow further in their career, maybe they outgrow their job and they start recommending friends that they know. And I got quite a bit jobs from connections like this as well. So those two are my main sources of new client work.
I think I could also add maybe attend conferences. I know maybe now they're online, but a lot of these things happen when people go specifically to conferences to network. Okay, so Nina?
I haven't been searching for clients for quite a while, but I think they mostly find me on Pinterest or Instagram. It is, at least they usually, when they type, oh, I found your work on, and then they usually say in Instagram or Pinterest. So I would say mostly social media would be the number one. Maybe some connection, like maybe like a referral, one client to another client. But yeah, like the game changer was the social media for me.
Okay, and Matej?
Mostly through agency, and like ever since I began there, through the years I developed relationships with the clients that are returning all the time, and we're kind of I mean, it's a bond that you just respect every time, and they know what to expect. They know the pricing. Everything runs smoothly, and it's really no-brainer. Like, why should you? I mean, it's something would really have to go really wrong to abandon that. So yeah, but in the beginning, it was mostly friends of friends, and I think the most exposure I got was from drawing a comic for a monthly magazine for kids, and that proved exposure proved to be really valuable in publishing terms. I mean, in publishing world. So yeah, but now I don't think I even have a professional portfolio, not because I don't want it, but because I never really felt the need for it. Even on Instagram, I mean, I always dreamt about it, but like you never, you know, it's really hard for artists sometimes to to make their own portfolio or just commission somebody to do it. But in my case, it's this and that the fact that I never really felt the need for it, which is, I know it sounds strange, but when you get a lot of work from other channels, this is something that yeah, it's not that important, I think. I mean, for this context.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go ArtStation, I don't know, Pinterest or Behance network or something like that.
It makes sense, yes. So a question, what are the different industries or maybe fields that you worked in as a freelancer, and do you prefer something to something else? Nina?
Okay, so at the beginning, as I mentioned, I worked at Third Frame Studios, so that was mostly apps and yeah, kids apps. So it was pretty different than things I'm doing now. And then I started off working with patrons for kids textiles and then home decor. I think like the area of in the industry is not like something I prefer one over the other. It's just mostly I like to work with clients that they know what they want. For example, if you work with someone, it doesn't matter in which like segment of the industry, if they're like a beginners and they don't have a lot of experience, sometimes it can be painful that they don't know what the expectations, budgets, timelines are. So sometimes I feel I'm more relaxed when working with clients that have a lot of experiences. Sometimes these companies are bigger or like medium companies, but it's like when they know how artists work, I think that is something I prefer over the area of, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. If I can just like through the years, most of the time I struggle at the beginning of a project. I struggle to get what the client is like, because if there's maybe little signs that you can detect, and then you know what to expect. Like what if they know the artist. I mean, what it means to be an artist. Maybe they are an agency that employ artists or something like. Or they worked previously with artists and stuff like that. And I think at the beginning of the project, I spent like a lot of thoughts thinking about this, you know, just to be prepared for, I don't know, a lot of corrections, a lot of you know, negative feedback maybe, or just, for example, like a lot of clients don't. You have to do sketches for some project and you send the sketches and then they're confused because they don't really know what sketches are. It's so logical for us that of course sketch by definition is not the finished project, but a lot of clients don't know that, and then they're really like sheepishly they ask if there will be colors, right, or something like that. And it's okay, yeah, then you realize that you have to be more clear, you know, with what they expect, and I mean with the communication and so on. So yeah, a lot of times it's just figuring out what the client level of experience is like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to add, I think there is quite a big difference when working with a company that has art directors, because they are artists themselves. Most of the projects that I work on, either games or some smaller project for the movies, the experience was kind of similar. Basically, the same experience that I had at Outfit, that when we worked on mobile games. I have now the same experience that I work on computer and console games, and it's similar experience to working in movies. So basically, it's quite similar. But when I took some projects with advertising companies, or maybe some private commissions that don't have, or maybe a music band that doesn't have clear art director or the person to communicate with. The experience there is a bit different, where you have to do explaining, as Matej said, what are sketches, this is not final yet, I'm going to define this later, just look at big picture and so on.
I can just add my experience. Sometimes when someone who really likes something I make asks me to do a commission, even if it's small, and then if it's in that stage that I make the client really happy, like they don't even care. They just want to have my work. This is the people I prefer to work with, but they're really rare to find. But this is sometimes, this makes me really happy when they're just like, this is perfect. And I'm like, okay, it's not done yet. Those are my favorite clients.
Yeah, that's why you stick with those clients, and you want to work because you know they expect that and they like that, and which is something that you like also, and you do the fastest and most enjoyable. Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of answered this good and bad clients. What about, have you noticed a difference working for the Slovene versus the international market?
Who?
Oh, sorry.
I did. I think, I don't know, I have better experience with like international clients. Like, first thing is the budgets are pretty different, like from the start. I like working with clients from UK or America or Canada, maybe. I think with Slovene clients, I'm not sure. I had a few good experiences, don't get me wrong, but usually it's like they don't know how they don't know we make a living out of this. It's just like, oh, illustration is your hobby. Can you like draw this and this and that? And it's like 1 month of work, and they think that would be like 200 euros or something like that. I mean, a lot of those kind of experiences I got, but these were not companies. These were maybe someone who saw my work somewhere and then just, you know, typed me like an email and asking if I would draw something for them. But like, even if I get this kind of requests from people from out of Slovenia, it's like they know, I think, how to value work a bit more. At least that is my experience. I'm not saying all Slovene clients are bad, but I prefer working with international clients. Just like my personal opinion.
Okay. Matej?
I haven't done a lot of work for non-Slovenian clients, but I did some work for Slovene companies that have a lot of business outside, and yeah, it's a different approach, I think, in pricing and everything. So yeah, but just commenting on what Nina said, of course, I think that outside of Slovenia there are bad clients also, and
yes, that's true.
But maybe it's just maybe we're a little bit biased because I have experience like you did as well. So, but that's not to say that outside of Slovenia artists aren't struggling with the same troubles that we are. I don't know. Maybe it's just that you get approached by more professional and more serious businesses.
Maybe,
so, yeah. That's really.
I work mostly for international clients from UK and from Germany. But I must say I have pretty good experiences with every client. But I have to say that with Slovenian clients that I work for are also kind of international clients because they work for there are companies that are just based in Slovenia, but their main market isn't in Slovenia. So even basically I charge the same rates to international clients and to Slovenian clients, and they don't have problem. But again, I work with companies that work in international markets.
Okay, cool. So next topic would be more of a technical side of opening a business. So I talked with Jan, and can you explain a bit more what is the technical side of opening a business in Slovenia, and then we can move on to further, maybe to Nina with the shop and all that.
Yeah, I have to say that opening a business, at least SP in Slovenia, is pretty simple. I mean, I just Googled it, and the first result is from Mladi Podjetnik PKC or something like that, and they list requirements, basically what you have to prepare in terms of information when you visit iPads or a local, I don't know how to say it, registry. So once you have those data and you visit iPads, you can now open SP in basically 15 minutes. But I have to say that I work strictly with clients. I don't have any products that I sell. So my accounting is quite simple. Also, I consulted with one accounting agency where I went through them and learned how I can fill the taxes myself, because I recommend using, at least for my type of business, normiran SP, which basically means that you only have to report your earnings, and it takes me 5 minutes each month, 10 minutes once a year to file a report. So opening a business in Slovenia is quite simple if you work strictly as a service provider, not selling products.
And can I also ask what are the monthly fees and yearly fees and that stuff?
Basically, I have normiran SP, which means that all my expenses are already assumed. And basically, out of my income, they assume that 80% of my income goes to my expenses. So I only have to pay tax on the 20%, which means that I pay effectively 5% tax on my earnings. But besides that, I also pay the zdravstveno zavarovanje, basically health insurance, and for the retirement fund. So in total, it's 5% of yearly earnings plus 350 to 500 based on your based on the time that you have, based on the length or how long have you opened your business. Because in the first few years it's a bit cheaper, but on the second and the third year the expenses go up, but it should stabilize at 500.
What is the retirement fund?
It's not retirement.
I don't think we're not getting.
Basically, for pokojnina, you pay out of your income so that the government will pay you once you retire. I don't know the exact specific terminology.
Okay. And maybe Nina, you can add on this,
I think
running a shop and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Jan just puts everything really, like all the facts about opening and owning an SP. And if you own a shop, you can be still normirani SP. I'm still normirani SP, and I'm not like tax dependent, zavezanca. I'm not. So, but if you open a shop, if you have like a Shopify or Etsy, then you have to get daučna blagajna, because each transaction, for example, when somebody buys your, I don't know, prints, pins, greeting cards, each purchase has to be like a separate invoice inside. So it's a bit more work. Like, for example, when I had like 300 sales in 1 month, let's say, it took me, I don't know, a few hours to put all the invoices in. I didn't do it like every day, but at the end, I think at the end of each month, I just went over Etsy and just put everything inside. So yeah, each transaction needs to be inside, and you need daučna blagajna for that. But apart from that, I think everything is similar. I have an accountant that is like, I have many stupid questions, so I need to have an accountant. I really admire Jan for like handling everything on his own. But yeah, I feel better having a support, because I did a few mistakes. So
if I can add, I also did a few mistakes, but the thing is, it's not such. I did like one mistake, one wrong entry, but the thing is that people from First actually call you on the number that you provide and explain you this was a mistake. Here's how to fix it. I fixed it in the same afternoon and it was done. But it's much more. It's different for my type of. Basically, it's the process that I have for each client is the same. So once I learned that simple process, I didn't feel the need to have an accountant. However, if things get complicated, I can still reach out to one. But
yeah,
for the basic day-to-day or month-to-month, I don't feel the need. Yeah.
Okay. Matej, do you have anything to add?
No, it's just that I also am SP, and I also use the accountant service, but mainly because of yearly income tax report, because it's such a pain in the butt to do it. And in the past, I don't know, I think the government tax portal is now a little bit better, but in previous years it was really a nightmare, and I think it's worth paying the accountant just to take care of that. But in reality, I think everybody can do it. I mean, this is just in March. I think it's till the end of March now, right? You have to turn it in. I think it's just once per year. It's a little pain, but when you get used to it, it's really easy. And if you if you're normirani SP, then it's really bookkeeping isn't that difficult. So if you can afford, and if this bugs you, then get an accountant. But if you can't afford it, or don't think you want to pay, then it's really not necessary.
Okay, cool. I'm going to move on to money. So first question is, in what different ways do you earn your money? Maybe Jan?
Yeah, as I said, I earn money strictly by working for clients. I don't sell anything, so I work for hire. Okay,
cool. Matej?
Yeah, me too. Don't sell anything, mainly because I thought about it, but this daučna blagajna thing, it's very a little bit, and I don't want to deal with it.
Just terrorizing stuff. Okay. Maybe.
I think I have a few ways of how I make my monthly income. First is freelance work. And this past year I've been more freelancing than I actually haven't had my shop open in the COVID year because all of the craziness, and just prefer to take a year of freelance. apart from that, like if I don't look at only last year, I have my own shop. And then also royalties are, I think, a huge deal for me. With a few companies, I worked I provided my artwork, not really knowing what to expect. And then over the years, I actually am earning money, like a fabric collection. And I worked with a French company that does like stickers and wallpapers for kids' rooms. And I get like 10% of their sales. Also lake coloring app. It depends on how much they color my artwork. Then I get like every 3 months, I get some money. And I did a stationery collection with a company based in UK. So I think I have some money coming in every now and then from royalties, but that's basically freelance still, I guess, or not. And yeah, work to hire and from products, and also illustration fair. In December, I visited like Sejem Ilustracije at Vodnikova domačija. So that was also something. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
And maybe I really like am interested also in this next trend of crypto art, like for non-fungible tokens. But I wasn't accepted by any of the sites because I think now it's just like, but I see, there's something going on here. So this is also something artists should be aware of.
Yeah, it's something that's blown up in the past, month?
Yeah.
So basically a lot of artists have started selling their artworks for crypto.
It's like a bit complicated, and I'm really not the right person to explain it.
Yeah, I read it in a school.
It's like so basically it's like you put your art on those websites and then
it's an auction, I think.
It's like people buy your digital original or something. Like it's like I'm not gonna even try to explain it, but just like maybe put non-fungible tokens or NFTs in YouTube, and then you will have millions.
I think there was like a podcast about from artists in the industry who are selling this.
Yeah, but people are earning like crazy amounts of money here, like crazy. It's like just don't care about the clients and the shop, just like do that and you'll be good. So
okay, so next question is what's your price and how do you set it? Maybe Nina, you can continue.
First thing, I always try to like find out what is their ideal budget. Just like sometimes when I almost put my price too low, I had like a price in mind, and then they actually had a higher budget. So I try to like find out what like their ideal budget is. Otherwise, if it's really low, then we're not gonna come together. But sometimes if it's good enough, I say okay. But like lately, I have been making my proposals a bit higher than that, and like mostly I wasn't. They still went with me for the project. So I don't have like a rate. I have a price list, but I usually not really look at it like what I mostly try to set my prices higher because I work traditionally and it takes a bit more time. Like first to sketch, scan, send sketches, draw, and stuff like that. So I usually try to explain that to them, that my process is a bit more complicated. And I think if you explain something to the clients, they will understand and they will appreciate your price. So I don't have like one number. It's just like depends on the project. But don't like something I would say to myself a few years ago, like the question from the beginning, don't set your prices too low. That's also a thing I would say to myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jan?
I basically worked for international rate, kind of the industry standards, at least as an illustrator. And my earnings are similar to the countries I work for. So basically I earn a pretty good salary for Germany / UK. And because that also gives me leverage when working with Slovenian clients, because I have pretty full schedule and I can negotiate why would I work here for a lower rate. So I'm pretty happy by the fact that I can negotiate in Slovenia quite well as well. But I get few tips that I would say to younger self when starting to charge. The first one is to not be afraid to charge flat rate and avoid charging hourly. By hourly, since the greater idea at the beginning, it's a much bigger chance that you will lowball it. Plus, the client will be risky. How fast are you? How quick can you produce the artwork? Will it take 3 weeks on this rate? Well, it could take you 2 days instead if you work faster. So I would say learning how to charge a flat rate is a huge benefit, because not only the clients are more happy with it, you get rewarded for working faster. Just to give you an example, I mean, illustrations can range from 300 euros to 3,000 euros, even higher depending on a client. Well, if you would say, okay, I want to earn 10 bucks an hour, and if you work for if you applied it to 300 euro illustration, that means just to go back, if you have 300 euro illustration, and if you spend 40 hours on it, you earn roughly between even less than 10 euros. While if you spend 8 hours on it, you can earn almost 50 euros. And by the time, especially if you take a larger project, not only you will get faster, so your rate will start to go higher, while if you set a fixed hourly rate, when the project progresses and you get faster, you get actually punished for it, because you will be earning less for the same work that you're producing. And the other tip that I have is to be flexible with budget, because even big name clients sometimes have tasks that do not require the same amount of perfection that have the larger tasks. Like if you have to design a main character, they usually give you a really long deadline and a really good salary for it. But if they want like a test character that is going to be visible in a game for 2-3 seconds, that doesn't mean that you can charge them the same amount that you would charge for the main character, because they also expect a faster turnaround. So you should be able to adjust rates for different type of tasks. And usually if you communicate with the client, you can ask in advance, what's your budget for this? Do you have a preference? How detailed it should be? You can always find the middle point, but charging all tasks equally, even if the description is the same, but the role in the final project is different, you can rule yourself out of few jobs by charging too little or too much, mostly too much for tasks that the client doesn't prioritize as much.
Yeah. And Matej?
For mostly my agency does the negotiations, and I'm most of the time really happy with what they negotiate. But if I have to come up with my own rate, then I usually, all of the time, constantly I try to be in the know what people usually charge, or what they could negotiate for similar jobs, or maybe people with similar style than mine and similar experience and similar platforms or projects. And then I'm constantly collecting this information whenever I can. So I'm kind of all the time, anytime you can ask me, and I would say this is between this and that. And if I usually I try to figure out how much I want to earn per month. and I'm also counting in all the SP costs and all the usual costs, as if they would hire me for a month. So they would have to provide me with an office, with electricity, internet, all the equipment, software, and so on. And then I account that also. And in the end, I get a number that then I translate to daily rate. And now I have my basis. This is absolute minimum. So if I get this, it's okay. It's not like wow, but I would be able. I will be happy with it. Not crazy happy, but I will be happy. And if I can negotiate then higher than that, it's only okay. I mean, it's only profit from that stage on. So, yeah, but like Nina said, it's sometimes I like it the most when the clients come and they say, okay, we need this in this style by this date, and we have this much money. What can you do? Like,
Yes,
this is what I like also sometimes, because it's you can say, okay, I can do this in 1 week for that kind of money. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, and just
yeah, because sometimes, for example, they want you to do something, and you would like something that would cost, I don't know, 200 euros, and then they have 200 or 2,000, let's say 2,000. Let's be more professional, and then. Like something they don't like, if they don't have enough budget, you can also say, yeah, but we can do less details, or we can do less animals, or we can do it in less poses. And you can always, how would I say,
adjust. Yeah,
let them know what they can get for that amount of money, so the project still goes through, but like each of the sides have to do a bit of compromise. You like, they lower the budget, and you're just like, I'm not gonna draw as much as I would like for what they want, and they're usually really flexible.
Yeah, I would say a good approach, I think, is that you offer them a full buyout, and then if they think the fee is too high, then you can say really easily, okay, so you're not interested in total buyout, so maybe we can
license.
Maybe we can negotiate for 1 year, and then they realize, oh, we actually need it for a month. So then you say, okay, then would this number be okay? But all constantly you have to have in mind your minimum, and that you don't go less than that, because then there's no point in going on.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is licensing. For licensing deals, you don't get as much money. But then if you have, for example, a pattern, and then this pattern can be bought by a company for this amount of money, and they can do anything they want with it, like from wallpapers to blankets to notebooks, if they buy all the like copyrights. But if they don't have as much money, you can say, oh, but we can license it only for notebooks and, I don't know, pens. And then they only license it for that. But that means you can license it to someone else for something else, like for wallpapers or like textiles. Yeah. So you can earn, like with one artwork, you can earn money via more different clients. But they don't have, not in the areas that they would compete. You wouldn't license one pattern for notebooks and another company also for notebooks, but you would license it like for another company that does something completely different, that doesn't have anything to do with the first company. So I think, in my experience, this is how you can earn the most money. For example, you do a personal project, and then somebody reaches out, and then you license it to them and them and them and them. And it's like, at the end, I think you get the most money. And even after a few years, they license it for 2 years. And if they want to use it after that, they come back to you, and then just like you get paid again.
Yeah, if I can add, like a few years ago, I started thinking about selling my vector art on Shutterstock, and at that point I already had like a lot of folders with clients. I mean, with projects. And I just went folder by folder, checking which art is under contract, and if it was not under contract, I uploaded it, and it became passive income for me.
Yeah.
And
Also society.
it's such a waste if that would just sit on a hard drive.
Yeah, or society 6, or you can have Redbubble and you put it there. If it's not, if then they don't own the copyright. So I really try to keep copyrights to myself and mostly license, because then you can earn way more money with one artwork.
Yeah, that's one advice that I would give to anybody starting out. Just start thinking about your art, not just like a product that you would make in a factory, but as your property that you rent out or sell, you know.
Yeah.
In a sense that you can rent it out for 1 year, and then you can figure out, maybe I won't rent it anymore and I will lock it away, or maybe in 2 years I will try to rent it to somebody else for 2 years, or maybe indefinitely, or just sell it again, like because it took me a long time before I started thinking in these terms. So it's not your time if you're making like artistic piece or a project. You're not selling your time and how many hours you're drawing,
No.
but you're selling the rights to use this
Intellectual property.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. What about your earnings? Does it fluctuate through the year, or do you have a pretty stable earning curve? Maybe Matej?
If I would go through my statistics, there are a lot of ups and downs. Like in 1 month you can earn, have earned in the past, like for 4 monthly salaries, and then next 2 months nothing, and then really small earning in the 4th month, and then it starts rising again. So this is what you have to get accustomed to. The sooner the better, to this irregular income flow, and especially if you're an SP that has to pay the pension fund and so on, because it's the same every month. It's like 500 euros plus tax and so on. So you have to account for that. You have to have this rainy days fund, or just the fund from which you pay pension and stuff like that. Yeah, but throughout the years, if I look at statistics from 10 years back, it's for the yearly income, it's not fluctuating that much actually. It just, like, I can say it's pretty steady. I don't know how this happened, but I don't know. I'm happy, and I'm not changing it. If I would change it, I would change it for up.
Yeah, well, that's good. Jan?
Yeah, I would say that I'm in a pretty unique position. Not unique, but I work with two type of clients. Not the type of clients, but I work for outsourcing studio, which kind of works like an agency, and they are the ones who are constantly searching for jobs. And I have a contract that I have a minimum amount of hours reserved for them per month. So I got a constant inflow of money from one specific outsourcing studio. And then for the second part, Of my work days, I work for different type of clients, which are either regular for half a year or are more occasional ones, like one project each. But I'm pretty lucky that basically over the 2 years that I've been freelancing, the bottom line has been rising, but there are some months where I take a couple of additional projects beside the outsourcing studio that I work for, where the upside is really strong fluctuation to the upside. But as I kept a few different clients through the years that I've been working for, basically they are regulars. So the minimum work that I constantly get for them is rising my minimum earnings per month. So it's going upwards, but the bottom line is basically going straight upwards, and the really good months are the ones that fluctuate.
Okay, cool. And Nina?
Yeah, same for me. I like Matej said, I have peaks, but it's mostly because I work on long projects sometimes, and then you work like 3 months, and I usually invoice them at the end. And also when I had my shop, it just depended on how much of time I dedicated to it. And for example, in December months, it was a peak, and November and something like that. And also depended on how many products I put in. So, I mean, it's like I always have a fund for rainy days, and I don't have any rule of how our earn is really random. So, yeah.
I have a question. Did you maybe at any time asked for an advance, like in money, or maybe if they asked for for that kind of arrangement?
Like for a few companies from the States have this like kind of rule that they pay you in advance, half in advance and half after you finish, and I was okay with it. Yeah, maybe with longer project that would make sense, but sometimes my projects, like, they are not long at the beginning, but then we keep adding things and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm also lazy with the invoices. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's good to get money, but like the bureaucracy and stuff, it's not.
That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
The project. It's like you to do. I just start whistling and
Payday.
yes, exactly. It's, I don't know why. Maybe because in the past, when I was starting out, getting money was such a suffer because nobody would pay. The deadlines were 3 months long, and then they took another 2 months or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So you wouldn't see one advertising agency was owing me for 8 months, like a large chunk of money, and I was getting concerned about the rent and everything, so it was not funny. And at the same time, I was really overworked, so it was worst of all worlds.
Yeah,
everything was together. And now that when I finish the project, I just am making sure there's no delays on my end.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that I don't forget. I really keep in mind that I don't forget, like writing and sending an invoice for a month or something like that, because this is just unacceptable. Because I just, in my mind, is I'm just kind of expecting that they will be late, like crazy, and I just try to not be late on my part. So
that's actually true. I think most of the time clients are really late with invoices. For example, they do take 1 month or maybe sometimes even more. I sometimes ask, it's like, they owe me, I don't know, 4,000 euros. How do they think I live? Like, maybe because like I could live from one month to another, and I would need that 4,000 euros. And then they just like take their time to pay you. And it's like, do they even think we're like people that are not employed, that are just working in illustration for a living? But I think clients never think we're I don't know, this is my feeling. They take their time. They don't see us as people who really need the money or like need it for their life and expenses and like everything.
Yeah.
I guess it's also the difference whether you work for a publishing company, because I know that for publishing companies the paying schedule is much more different than if you work for a production studio for games, because they usually have monthly payrolls, and for whichever company I work for, I know, okay, they are sending their payrolls at 5th or 15th each month. So I just make sure that for previous work of that month, I send invoice by that date, and usually I haven't had any problems. But that might be the difference between working for a video game company or for publishing, because I heard that some publishers also only pay on publication, which I have no experience with, but that might be the case with some projects.
Yeah.
Did any of you ever have had to take any legal actions, like hiring a lawyer, stuff like that?
I was always threat with lawyers when people steal my artwork. I really had a lot of websites, little companies from, I don't know, from Brazil, Chile, China, like from not Europe, but also Europe actually, steal my artwork. And then I always like copyright infringement in the title of the email. And then I always like maybe use a word lawyer or legal help, but then it's usually it doesn't come to that. So I haven't used the lawyer for anything illustration related yet.
Okay.
You're so lucky.
Yeah.
People steal your stuff.
But yeah, no, but then usually they do pay
That's
me.
flattering.
No, I actually earn a few €1,000 just from people stealing, and then I just hunt them down and just, oh yeah, we're gonna pay you, and then they pay. Yeah, a few €1,000.
Nice.
Yeah, a year, I would say. Even this year was a good start. I like at the beginning of the year I earned was it €800 or something like that? Just because they stole something from me.
You can take your time and write the most creative email and see how much money you can, how much you can scare them.
Yeah, but I think something that plays a role here. I have a pretty big following on Instagram, so whenever I would post something like that publicly, my followers would go at their profile, like report them, comment, and just like bully them. So usually, even when it comes to that, they pay or they don't want it to come to that. Because if I would be someone maybe with less followers, maybe they would ignore me. But when things is like that, it's a good leverage in those kind of situations.
Nice.
Okay. Thanks.
Nina, army.
Yeah.
One more question about money. What's your opinion on working for free, and do you ever do it?
Yeah.
Maybe if I would get royalties after that, but I don't know. Or for a good cause, like for maybe some shelters, animals, or kids, or if it has to be a charity. Otherwise, I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do.
Thank you. Either for charity or if you work with other people that are also working for free, like a side project that you have aspirations for later on.
Yeah.
In that case, I mean, if nobody gets paid for it, it's okay. But if someone is profiting of your work, then you should get paid for it.
Yeah, basically that. Also, sometimes I would get friends of friends trying to get me to do something for them. I mean, to draw something, and maybe I know them, but not that good. And not that well, and in those cases, sometimes I would almost prefer to do it for free, or just to let them know this is a favor, because if I would charge my normal fee, they wouldn't go for it. If I charge a lot less, they still wouldn't go for it, but maybe, and still they would get the feeling that they're overpaying.
Oh.
And I don't want that relationship between us. And that's why I just tell them, okay, this is a favor to you, so you owe me a favor. And then they sometimes they see it differently then.
They don't complicate as much.
Yes, because
that's
if it's a favor.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
because
especially if they have a business and they have some services, and then you can use them sometimes. So I do you a favor, you do me a favor when I need it. So it's a way to keep a relationship or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good tip actually, because sometimes clients who would pay the least are the most annoying ones, like clients from hell. I don't know. I remember like when I started freelancing, I was just like charging so little money, and it was screwed over. Like it's like to the point of madness, you know? So yeah, sometimes it's better to work for free and have like the mental clarity and mental calmness.
Yeah.
Better than if they are clients from hell and then you work for a little money and you go crazy. But
also you owe it to yourself just to keep a common sense, so you don't talk yourself into something that takes ages and keep doing proper work.
Yeah.
So you have to set boundaries firmly, and yeah, you're okay, I think.
I prefer to charge more than or just say no, so I don't have to deal with people who have such strict budgets that they're just all over you from the beginning. Okay, let's change the topic to maybe office and work-life balance and stuff like that. So maybe a fun one. What is your office like nowadays?
Messy. my office is always messy because I use like so many materials.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of paper, pens, sketches, notepads, colors, little pots of water, dirty water, sketchbooks. Yeah, it's like, messy.
So today you cleaned it up?
No, not really.
Because it doesn't look messy.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not. Oh, and I have 3 desks actually, one for computer desk, and then I have a desk for drawing. And then that's a desk where I would cut my prints and pack and do the more like.
And you work from home? You're in a house?
Yes.
Okay.
I work from home.
Cool. Maybe Anne?
Yeah, I'm actually renting an office. So yeah, this is my office. It's basically just a computer on the table.
What is this? Is this for a tablet?
This is a professional dust collector. But I bought it because I was trying. When I started, I set myself a schedule. I'm gonna do traditional artwork every day. So this is like a table with adjustable angle, so that I can draw traditionally, like up front.
Do you ever draw traditionally?
No, it's a professional dust collector. So I'm just working on a computer right now, and the office is basically empty white walls all around me, because I said once I settle in, I will buy some artworks, and now it's been over 2 years, and yeah, I stare at the computer screen all the time anyway, so yeah. But I really like to separate even if I work here all the time, at least I completely turn off all the notifications when I go home, so I have a clear separation between work and
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, I don't check emails on my phone, so it's basically the same. When I leave this room, I leave the workspace, but it's been like after a few years of not having any separation. Wow.
Yeah. Like it's really important to have at least a different room. Because for the longest time I've been working from my bedroom, and after a while it was really it became bad. Like, you know, checking your emails in your pajamas and eating your breakfast, and your eye hasn't peeled off yet, but you're already checking for feedback, and
that's not good.
It's not healthy. It's not mentally.
No. I actually never check emails on my phone. Never. I have to get like in front of the computer, and then it's email time. If I'm not in front of the computer, I don't care.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I also can tell, like half a year ago, I moved from a one-bedroom flat where I had everything in the same room, and to a flat where I have an office space, a separate room, and it's such a difference. Like when you can just close the door and leave, it's so much better.
I have a studio assistant also.
Yeah.
That take cares of my work-life balance with barking and take me out.
Yeah, you can continue. One question is also work-life balance. You can talk about that.
Oh, that's the next question. Oh, I have to continue.
Yeah.
I mean, before I didn't have any work-life balance for the first few years of freelancing. I think everything was just work. And then after some time, I got a bit tired. I couldn't describe the feeling, actually. I would say I was at the beginning of a burnout. I wasn't actually like sick or anything, but I was sick of everything, and I was just getting lazy, less motivated. So ever since that, it became important to me to just like enjoy life as well, and just like to do nothing at sometimes, and take a day off and go out for a walk with my dog, and maybe not take projects for a few, I don't know, days, weeks or something. It's just like not working all the time is, after you're 30, I think you really appreciate that too. But the first few years, I had to work. I wasn't even pushing myself in my 20s, like you have to, like, but it's like it came from me, like the energy and the creativity and ideas. And now it's just like it's coming, but it's a bit slower and it comes less frequently. So I would say I don't work nowadays more than 8 hours a day, ever. So I think that's a pretty good work-life balance.
So you're happy with it?
Yeah, now I am. But it took me some time to like learn.
Yeah. Of course. Maybe Matej?
I am pretty terrible with this. Like Nina said, in the past, I was like working like crazy. Basically 24 hours a day. You're just on the job. If you're, I mean, you know what I mean. Just all the time you're thinking about projects, and I would say that it's important just to have this time when you're not thinking about projects. This goes hand in hand, I guess, with the workspace, and I think you really relax when you relaxed when you start missing or when you can't wait to go back to studio. And this could be just on daily basis, not just vacation time or something like that. Even though this vacation time is also really elusive when you're freelancing, for me at least, because there's so many variables to projects, and so many different clients and different terms. And one tip I heard that I haven't really tried it, but it sounds really smart, is just to treat your vacation time like a project. So you pencil it in your schedule, and if you have like this project, I'm working for this month, and then this project I'm working these 2 weeks after that project, and after that 3 weeks is vacation project. So if you pencil it in, you will go through with it. If you just say, yeah, I will go somewhere, or I will take time off whenever projects stop coming, it's really hard, because
I agree.
there's always something that pops up, and sometimes it's really difficult to get off the train in that sense. So yeah, you have to take it seriously.
Or
but
take
don't
time.
ask me how.
Or also take time for personal projects. Sometimes those actually give you the creative energy and stuff like that. Maybe you also can do that.
That would be nice.
And then maybe work only 4 hours a day and just do personal work. So it's like a semi-holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I sometimes with some clients, I get really excited because I don't really find the time for my own stuff. And some clients let me do me, and then I use those projects. It's kind of sad, but
yeah,
they don't have any any specific wishes or specific requirements, and then I can just do what I want to do and try that out, see what they say, what they think, and sometimes it works out really good. Like for last 2 or 3 book projects, I was really happy because yeah, I took care of both worlds.
that's nice to hear.
Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot.
And Jan?
Yeah, I don't have parents. I have a few problems. I mean, it's not a problem, it's a good problem. The first problem is that I started quite recently, so I haven't had a period where I didn't have clients. And I'm also interested in taking new projects on. And that's also the second project. And the second problem is that whenever I plan for myself, okay, after these 2 months, there will be a week-long period where I could take some time off, do a personal project. Usually just 1 week before that or a few days before that, and a really exciting project comes. So yeah, I have a problem of taking too much client work, even if I plan for vacation. So
You have to not pencil it in, you have to ink it in.
yes, yeah.
This is the next step, taking a vacation.
Illustrator's joke.
Yeah, I think I remember one time when I went like away for 1 month to travel to Australia and haven't worked for 1 month. And when I came back, I had like a year of full energy I could work like nonstop after that 1 month. It's just like it gave me so much, I don't know. It's hard to describe, not really inspiration, but I had like some energy to work that I didn't have before that. So if you take 1 month off, it's just like the whole year or 2 years, I was able to work better, which is like a great investment, I think.
Yeah, I've recently taken some time off, and like I think just like at this moment I am fully rested. I have so much energy and my ideas are completely different. Before I was just so tired. I was just everything that came. I was just like, okay, I'll do it, but
yeah,
you know, it's not the same. Like now, whatever I get, no matter if it's a stupid task, I will find a creative solution.
That's this is exactly what I was talking about. It's like it's really hard to like pinpoint or describe it, but it's something I felt when taking a long.
I think you go back to time when drawing wasn't your profession, but it was just an escape. from everything else, and then now it's just everything else is now drawing, so you need some escape from that.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Yeah.
So that the roles turn, so that you actually get to escape again. Like,
Yeah, maybe. But
just
during that break, it's just like it feels really good not to have like any illustration. Like maybe you answer a few emails and that's it. But otherwise, you just like you become Nina or Matej or Jan or Maya the explorer, the sushi eater or traveler or hiker or just like something else.
Yeah. And when you come back, it just all comes into your illustration, like all the experiences. Like it just like puzzles together.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we start finishing up with a question. What are your plans for the future, or where do you see yourself? I don't know, a few years, or I don't know when, like, what do you see yourself in a couple of years? Jan?
Yeah, so I'm torn between two directions. One direction is either by creating a company in Slovenia, like an outsourcing studio, to bring some of those AAA games, AAA jobs here in Slovenia. That one is a bit more tricky one, because I would have to go quite deep into the business of running and paying employees and so on. And the other direction is just keeping up with the client work, but starting building my own project, something that I would reserve time for it, and maybe turn it into something bigger than just an illustration.
Sounds good. Matej?
I would like to get more free time, or maybe better paid projects, so I could earn the same amount in less time. Also, I would like to write a kids comic or something like that, adventure comic. This is what I've been thinking about for a few years now, but I didn't do almost nothing towards that, but it's still on my wish list. And I don't know, just maybe trying out something new. I've been wishing to try some 3D for ages, and to the point I just kind of gave up. And I think if I just for the fun of it, nothing too serious. Just learn new stuff, and maybe write a comic, or maybe write a book, heavily illustrated book, something from which I would be the author of, like that I would have control over story and art as well. So something like that. Don't ask me how.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
My turn. I think I really like how things are going at the moment. I would like to, maybe if I freelance, I would like to work, like Matej said, like less client projects and better paid. But other than that, I really like to, I would like to have my own online shop as well, with some prints, posters, and some stuff for kids' rooms and nurseries, like for decor. This is one of my next goals. I wish to produce like blankets, or maybe swaddles and growth chart meters, toys maybe. I really enjoy in product making. Actually, it's a bit more complicated and it's like quite stressful, but at the end, when you see a product after your designs, it's something I cannot describe. So I really, really want to have like a small website with a few well thought products.
Cool.
Nice.
I think we're at the end, but if you guys have some energy, I can go through the questions and read them out. Are you
Yeah.
up? Okay. So I think in the beginning we mentioned like courses. So which platforms would you recommend for paid courses?
I can answer that. So it really depends on your style or your aspirations, but for starter, really good basically schoolism courses are really good foundation. But if you want to move from that point on towards more realistic art, I would suggest Learn Squared, where they work with it's a different approach to art with implementing different techniques like photo bashing and 3D sculpting and paint overs. Well, schoolism is a really good foundation for cartooning and painterly art styles.
Yeah, I doubled the schoolism. It's just you have everything there, like all the fundamentals you will need. Just it's a bit overwhelming because by now they have like what 40 courses. I don't even know how many. It's insane. And you can it's really from complete beginner to advanced illustration. But I find that you have digital painting and full illustration and visual development, some storytelling. But what I like, I never found that maybe what I was missing there was some children's book illustrations or maybe traditional art, or yeah, I was missing that there where I searched for others. But for me, it was mostly schoolism, and I would recommend it. Yeah.
I only took a course from Smart Art School. It was, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not sure if it still exists. And then I took Make Art That Sells by an agent called Lila Rogers. I took one course, and they were like opposite courses. One was more like composition and making a good image, like so everything works. And then we worked on one illustration for, I don't know, 1 month. And then the other one was actually each week you got an assignment, and then you had to design, I don't know, series of plates, series of, I don't know, I'm not remember. It's like you work on art for products. And I think that's where I figured out I really like doing that. Like I also love to do repeat patterns and stuff like that. So I think with that course, I just like, I discovered this another part of illustration that is actually a product design as well. So yeah, Make Art That Sells. And it's basically just like learning you how to, you have different industry. You have like textiles, home decor, you have apparel, you have publishing, and you have many different areas. And then you get to know these areas and get an assignment each week. But it was like really, I mean, intense. I mean, you had to come up with one artwork each week on product. So yeah, I would recommend this one for someone that really loves to design things as well.
Cool. Interesting. Matej?
I'm usually just buying courses that Instagram throws me, and then I don't open them. They are about 20 euros each, and so far I spent 100, I guess. And I don't think I opened 2. Domestica courses, I think I saw they look really nice, and so on. I don't know if maybe I won't find anything useful there. I think the most useful things that I learned through online videos was actually observing how other artists work, or maybe what their procedures are, or what their how they solve problems and so on. So I think I would recommend this even more. But I haven't tried schoolism. They're really expensive and time consuming, I guess.
It's so stressful. Like especially the mentored ones, you just have to. But I talked with my mentor, and she said she deliberately made them harder. So we would go. You don't need to actually do anything, do all the work, but it pushes you what you can actually achieve. I saw that I did a lot more.
Are these live classes? Like everything is you work with a mentor and then, or
you have like, 2 options. One is yearly subscription, which is you have access to all the classes. And then you have mentored, which is quite expensive. But at the time I was working for a company and they paid for it.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it's a big commitment, and I was doing a full-time job in between, so it was a lot of work. But it's like 8 or 9 weeks, and each week you have a assignment, and in the end it's like full rendered illustrations and stuff like that. Okay, cool, thanks. So next one, let me see. If the job requires art that is in a different style than your preference, for example, if you're into horror illustration, but the task is you should put, your output should be military cartoonish, do you feel you're less passionate and the quality suffers? Or do you just outright do you just outright decline such inquiries? So are you less passionate if you get something that's not your style, or do you just decline it? Basically, that's the question.
It depends how far from my style is. I mean, if it's really on the other side of the spectrum, I would decline it, because it's like if somebody wants me to do I don't know, a portrait of a lady or something like, or a ballerina, I would like, yeah, you have artists that do it better than I do it. Yeah. So why not go to them? So, but if I mostly draw, I don't know, animals, and then I was recently hired to do a little monster, then I just like, yeah, monster is like a mix of animals and it's like a bit of my comfort zone, but I can still do it. And you're able to grow if it's just like a little bit outside of your portfolio or just like skills. So it depends how far from the style it is or my skills. If it's really different, then I don't accept it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I'm sorry, can I go?
Go.
If it's not too far, yeah, then it's different. But I would say that in the past, when I was kind of unsure of what my style is, or wasn't really, didn't really know how to get to it, I would just take everything. And now if I watch, if I look at those projects, I can see that they didn't go so well. I mean, the result wasn't as good as other projects that were really more suited. And that's how I kind of figured out, oh, maybe I have a style, you know, because I was really concerned for the longest time about the style, but it was there all along, I think. So lately, I'm having more troubles with taking such projects than in the past. I mean, it has to be somewhere along my lines. But I don't know. I would take something completely different. But if I have the energy and you know the time to do it. So Yeah.
Cool. Jan?
Yeah, I don't have really much preference. I mean, I prefer doing realistic fantasy stuff, but I enjoy both cartoony, both realistic. This is maybe a way that I also find a balance in my work, because like 60% of my clients are realistic clients, but still the 40% that are in the style that I worked before at Outfit. So I kind of see different challenges in both styles. So not that I'm less passionate, but for each specific task, I find something that I'm really interested in and I want to push it, like learn new things. So for me, it's a balance. I mean, if I would be constantly doing realistic stuff, I would get burned out. And if I would be doing constantly cartoon stuff, I would also get burned out. So I counterbalance my interest in art by also balancing the project.
I think if I can add, I would probably, if it's a completely different theme than I'm used to drawing, I would probably take it just to challenge myself. But as long as I can do it in my own style, I'm completely fine with it. But if it would, I don't know, if they would expect from me something team-wise completely different and the style completely different, I probably would hate the whole project and wouldn't take it.
I have a pretty huge problem with I'm not really interested in drawing people or humans. It's just like, I mean, we did it like a figure drawing and painting, and I did it most of the time in like when I was studying. But then at some point, it's just like animals just became so much more interesting because of all the different shapes and colors of fur. So I don't know. It's just like if somebody asks me to draw humans, I'm like, ah. But now they even actually stopped hiring me. I rarely get that kind of requests. But because other people do it so much better than me, so yeah.
Once a year, I would get an inquiry for caricatures, and I just always direct them to somebody else.
Yeah.
And at one point, he called me and said, "We don't. I don't think we met, but thank you for all the business." Just as long as I don't have to do it.
Oh, cool. Okay. So have you ever had a full-time job and also tried to make something extra after work? How did you manage your time and still keep motivated?
I was 24 or 25. So it was easier. When I was working at Third Frame Studios, I was like going there every day from 9 to 5. And after that, and on the weekends, I was developing my portfolio and my Instagram and everything. So yeah, I did like 2 jobs before I went freelance. So when I went freelance, I already had like clients, projects and stuff. But it was like pretty hard. I think how I could do it is I didn't have kids. I didn't have pets. I had just like the job for financial security. And then I had this strong will and strong belief and strong like inspiration. And if like looking back, I'm not sure how I did it actually. But I think like I was young and really, really passionate.
I think I was the same. I just got tired. After, I don't know, 2 years, I just started getting tired.
Maya talks,
and I am young.
Maya talks like she's over 30.
I don't know. I feel like I am inside. I just started taking care of myself.
Yeah, but that's good.
Suffering. But yeah, I don't know. I got huge. I was super motivated. But then after a while of doing just illustration non-stop, I just got tired and started dancing because I didn't want to look at a sketchbook anymore after work. But yeah, Matej.
A couple of years ago, this video game company really wanted to employ me. And at that point, I was already freelancing for about 10 years. So I had a pretty strong client base. And I was also kind of wanting to experience the full-time job. And also the project was really interesting and something I wanted to do for a long time. But at the same time, I was on the verge of burnout, and I was in a position where I was planning my 2 months off drawing, and at the same time, this company wanted me to come work for them, and full time, all benefits and everything. And it was really weird because in illustration, there basically are no jobs. I mean, basically we're all freelancing. I mean, mostly, but that was, I don't know, before Outfit happened.
How long were you there?
I want to say that when I started out, it was really like you didn't, even now you don't see ads for Illustrator wanted for indefinitely. Yeah. So yeah, I was in a position when they were like really insisting on hiring me, and I was like, this feels really weird. And at the same time, I don't want to work like for 2 months now. I don't want to touch the pen. But in the end, I took it anyway. And it turned out that it was so much easier than freelancing that it kind of felt like having really easy project or something. It was like half holiday for me, but with the money.
How long were you there?
2 years and a half, and it was
really,
and then the company fell apart. But I was just at the point where I was thinking about freelancing again, because I don't know, I got tired of having a regular job. Maybe at the first year it was really nice because I had for the first time I have some semblance of organization and a team and instant feedback, and not just a client but a product that is a product of a team work. And this was really appealing to me because when you freelance, you just work for yourself. Basically, you don't have anybody to talk to, nobody to bounce ideas off. You constantly have to juggle 2 or 3 or 5 projects at once, and it can be really exhausting. And this thing proved really nice, just to have just one thing, not to worry about I don't know, office rent or software rent or anything. It felt really nice. But after a while, I got sick of it a bit, because I felt after a while I felt like trapped in a rat race, kind of. You know, we had to take time off when the whole office took time off and stuff like that. Things that I wasn't used to. Like, why should I go take time off if I want to work? But then I didn't take time off, and I was the only guy in the office. So, that's why, because I have nothing to do. And then everybody came back all relaxed, and I want to go now.
But did you freelance also while you were there?
Yes, okay. I did. I opened this afternoon SP, I don't know what the proper term is, part-time company. Because it was, the situation was that I was still getting a lot of inquiries from the clients. But at the same time, I could say the I could say no to the clients that I didn't feel comfortable with, or maybe I didn't know them, or maybe it was just too weird or too out of my comfort zone, or the budget was so low that it just wasn't worth my free time. So in the end, it was pretty sweet because I could just take the projects. I had the luxury of turning clients down, and I would just take projects that had all the variables checked. For example, they had to be clients I know. They had to have a nice budget, and they have to be easy to draw. So if that was checked, I took the project, and it was nice. I mean, I enjoyed doing it. It was paid quickly and paid well, and what's not to like, you know. So this job brought me the luxury of turning it down, because now I can't. Yeah. Turning bad offers down. I mean, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm tired.
It's okay. And Jan, maybe.
Yeah, I was working at Outfit, but also doing studies in the when I came home in the afternoon, in the evening. But for me, it was pretty easy because even though I was tired some days, I saw it more as a luxury, because as Matej said, I saw it more like a college kind of way, but I was paid to learn while I was at Outfit, and when I got home, I got to learn and take courses which I was interested in. And also, quite early on, I was planning to go to start freelancing. So I started, while I was at Outfit, I started taking courses that would help me with my business and to attract clients that I wanted to work.
Mm-hmm. I had similar experience when I was working there. Okay, so next question is, how long did it take for you to become financially secure with only client work and other freelance work? I don't know, Matej?
Now, if I think of it, not that long, but it felt longer, maybe. I think it went for a few years, not longer. I remember in the beginning there were tons and tons of really, really low-paid projects, but at that point I didn't care that much, because I mean, I was younger, and I was starting out, and I was so excited and full of adrenaline that I'm like earning any kind of money out of it, and I was really, really excited about that, and I didn't really worry about the future or anything, but I was just like I said, I was doing translating, and it was like low-paid illustration jobs were paid just as much as normally paid translation jobs. So I was really excited about that, and excited about like living something that has been kind of not a dream, but it was kind of a hope. Like, oh, that would be nice, just live off your work. But that doesn't really happen, does it? Yeah, you know, in that way. I remember I was doing when my colleagues really, who were a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years younger than me, when they heard what kind of fees I'm making, they were kind of shocked, because they were making more, and I still wasn't really upset about that. I don't know. I was just I had this. I was like high on just the fact that somebody wants me to do something. And then really quickly that improved a lot, but it was not for a long time, because then I think a couple of things happened. At that time, it was just we started getting repercussions from the financial crisis, and a lot of my clients, which were advertisers, they lost their clients and basically lost 90% of their income, and the orders started to be really scarce. But up to that point, it was crazy. We were making, I was doing just a couple of hours. This still, I tell this story to people. I would literally do, I don't know, 5 hours work, and I would bag 600 euros per week or something like that. And I would be renting this with my friend. I would be renting a studio. We would be playing Mario Kart all the time. And looking back, it was crazy. It was like living in a dorm or something and just having a trust fund or something. But that didn't last long. Almost a year, maybe. I mean, and I still didn't feel like I was earning a lot. It was just after 1 year that I was. I look at statistic and my bank account and all the numbers. When I realized that, hey, this is not a bad paycheck actually, and but I wasn't really. Weirdly, I wasn't really obsessed with that. I was just with mom. I didn't have any. Yeah, I didn't have any family, any pets, any rent, any nothing. So everything was cool. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Jan?
Yeah, I have to say I was quite lucky, because I was in third year of gymnasium when I figured out what I wanted to do with a living. So basically my main motivation was to only finish first year of to only finish and graduate college do diplomska, and I really didn't want it to enroll in magistery. So that was my deadline. So basically from third year of gymnasium till end of the college, I put my focus, I want to work for outfit. So I spent most of my time studying besides school. Basically, as soon as I graduated, I started working at outfit. From that point on, I was making a living. Even after I quit Outfit 7, my skills were already there that I can easily get some freelance clients. So it was a pretty smooth transition. Yeah.
Cool. And Nina?
Yeah, actually also when I graduated and started working at Third Frame Studios, I was still living with my mom. So I think for the first year of my working job, I just like earned a lot. I earned money and I didn't pay any like expenses. And my mom always said like, yeah, you're gonna need that money. Just like put it aside. And she was also right. Because after I left, I did have like projects coming in, but it's still stressful because you have to pay like each month for the SP. So I had like a little bit of money on the side when I just went from doing something full-time to working on a different projects and with different clients. So it's like good to have some like safety. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. There's a couple of questions more. So what thing or notion made your life better in the last year? And it can be personal or work related. Maybe.
In 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a pretty weird year.
Yeah, it was a pretty weird year. I think from my point of view, some isolation wasn't as bad because I had, like last year, in 2019, I had my online shop and I was pretty burnt out at the end. So in January, February, I was like still figuring it out. And when COVID came, it's like, okay, I'm going to stop with the shop. I'm going to freelance. But the first 2 months, there wasn't many projects coming in. So I think like the good thing from last year was I was able to focus on personal work a bit and just like to get some rest.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the best thing was lockdown, because it was a really convenient excuse and I didn't feel as bad for constantly working. An upside, but now I'm pretty sick of it, so I want some time off now.
I think also a lot of studios that weren't open to international studios that weren't open to working with freelancers in the past have opened up to it with COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was actually a quite significant increase in inflow of jobs.
Matej.
For me, it's not that much. I was also really kind of thrilled when they announced lockdown, because I was buried in projects, and also I had some health problems, and I wasn't really meeting all the deadlines. And after the lockdown started, everything was on hold, and this was such a blessing. This was so good to me. I mean, I was really happy because, okay, firstly, I can just get some rest, because this is kind of sad, because this is what everybody should be taking, regardless of the plague or not. And I mean, I could take rest without feeling guilty, because, you know, health and everything. And at the same time, all the deadlines became frozen.
Yeah.
Like everything became floating. Nobody knows anything. You be on standby, and I was like, okay. And then it was for the first couple of months, it was so that I could just take my time. If I was too tired on one project and tomorrow was the deadline, oops, all of a sudden there's no deadline and I'm tired, so I must go to sleep. And I would continue whenever the next day. And every project I finished in my own time. Everybody was happy. I was happy how it turned out, because all the time I was doing it, I was relaxed and well rested and so on. So this was really, really nice. But the other thing that I changed reaches in maybe a year back, before the health crisis, and that was, I kind of gotten more mellow about deadlines and how serious clients' demands are. I don't know, maybe it comes with age, I guess.
Yes.
But I spent 90% of my career now being really obsessed with deadlines. Okay, sometimes I would screw it up, of course. It's natural, I guess, but nothing too serious. I was really, really concerned about clients' demands, and if they're getting everything, and if they're convenient. And now I'm taking more myself into concern, like if I'm convenient, and if it's nothing really revolutionary, but for me it is something that everybody should be doing anyway, just like making all the terms really comfortable for you and for the client at the same time, not just, you know, promising a lot of a lot of things, even though you know you can't do it with a lot of other projects as well at the same time. Yeah, just being more relaxed about this, like not thinking it's end of the world if you extend the deadline. And usually the clients were okay with that. I mean, are okay with that. It's just the sooner you let them know, the better.
I think like the deadlines are not set in stone, because I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room here. Once I worked on a project that really just like, I did so many illustrations and they said, like, you have to send it in until Thursday or something like that. I was drawing, I don't know, 10 or 12 hours a day. And at the end, I like sent files over WeTransfer and they didn't download it for a few days. Like they downloaded it next Wednesday. It's like, okay, I was like killing myself. I was working too much. My neck hurted me. And there was the deadline on Thursday. And then they downloaded the files a few days or like next Wednesday. And I was like, after that, I just like figured it's like, there's nothing life or death here. We're not doctors.
And before, I guess it was a big drama. Oh, you have to do it by the end.
I was such a drama queen, and I'm just like not doing it anymore, because we're not, like I always say, we're not doctors, we're not surgeons, we're not like, it's not life or death.
The world won't end if this dog doesn't get drawn.
Yeah, same. I agree.
But I would get upset about this. Like I would be really in the past. I would be really upset if I didn't meet deadlines. And I think now it's time. Okay, you've been good for so many years. You can relax a little bit now.
Cool. There's a question. Maybe Nina, you can answer this one. Is starting an Etsy shop stressful? Where can you find details about selling on this platform, taxes and stuff like this if you're Slovene?
I think like the best sources of information are in like groups, forums, especially Facebook group that's called Slovenski Etsy podjetniki. I think I learned most of the things there. Just like type in the search and you will find everything. I found everything there. And mostly you just learn by doing a lot of mistakes. And if I'm being honest, it is stressful if you do everything by yourself, like customer support, packing, going to the post office, taking care of projects, packaging, little stamps, stickers. And it's just like so many things, because when you freelance, it just project, email, sketches, it's really, you focus on one thing. But when you have a shop, you're doing like a work of 5 different people. And you have to do social media, you have to do maybe ads and just like maybe do search engine optimization and stuff like that. So it's stressful. It's a lot. I mean, it's more than people expect.
Yeah. I saw, I am in that group, and I also bought it up. There was like a conference for Etsy. You were in it as well, for Etsy sellers in Slovenia, and there's a lot of useful tips, but I think you can get that in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
There is also one question that I can answer. Do you always sign a contract, and does someone help prepare it? We shared like a file in our Discord group that is from artpact.com, which is like a series of standard templates for selling a license or your artwork, which can also help. By now I know only this way. But have you guys have any other experiences with contracts or licenses or templates, or maybe the companies prepare it?
Yeah, I prefer companies to prepare it, and then I can maybe reuse it later for other projects if other clients won't prepare it. But I don't always work with contracts. No, not always.
Okay. Matej?
I didn't sell anything, so I don't know, apart from Shutterstock stuff. But yeah.
Okay, Jan?
Yeah, I also usually get a contract already provided from the company, but I was working with one client that has never worked with artists, so I just reused the art pack template and filled it in. But yeah, besides that, usually 99% of the cases, the company provides the contract.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I realize I was still in my head. I thought we were talking about online sales. Sorry, about the contracts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually, I'm sorry. Usually, my agency prepares them.
We're all tired.
Yeah. So, my agency prepares them, and they are also they're signing it in my name, and I just have to approve the fee and the terms, and that's pretty much it. It's just copy paste, I guess.
Okay, I will leave one last question and then we will finish up. Wait, where is it? What is, you can name your one favorite part and the worst part about freelancing. Jan.
My favorite part is that I get a big project so that I can work on just comparing it to working for a company. Usually when you're an employee of a company, your boss or the management had prepared projects in advance on which one you will work, and you have little to no say in that. Sometimes they're really awesome, sometimes not your favorite. But in freelancing, at least I'm that lucky that I have the luxury of using the project that I work on. In terms of the negative side, there is no manager that dedicates the amount of work that you can take all the work. And I shot myself in the foot earlier this year by taking a lot of work. But on the upside, I now know my upper limit, how much project I can take at the same time and work relatively okay hours.
Okay, Nina?
The worst side is clients from hell and low budgets or long projects that don't end. And like the best thing is, like for me personally, is seeing clients happy with the work I provided for them. And also I really love to see like if they're working on any specific product, then I get to see get the samples or get the actual product, or even the photos. Like I was designing, for example, lunch boxes or teething toys or something, and then they send me, oh, this is like our samples. So if I get them in hand, like the actual product, it's like something. I think that's my favorite part, when something comes to life.
Okay, and Matej?
Now that I've experienced a regular job and freelancing as well, I think it's just two sides of one coin. It's just the balance. For example, as I mentioned, when I started working, I was really excited about having a team, which you don't have as a freelancer, having a dedicated space, which you sometimes don't have. Just one common goal for everybody, but at the same time, I also fixed a schedule, like every day you have to be there at a certain hour and so on. On the other hand, this is also all the things that I love with freelancing, that I can start whenever I want. I can turn down projects. I can do really different projects. Like, it's just the opposite of what I was doing. It's just the question of how long can you do this side, and maybe you get sick of it, and then maybe it's the time to start freelancing again, like I did. And I think both is okay, but I can get tired, like doing it too much. But I really like the freedom that freelancing provides. I can go sketching in the forest. I can go or in the bar whenever they're open again. I don't have to be physically somewhere, and I don't have to apologize to anybody, you know. At the same time, all the responsibility is on you. So it's again balance. So if you can withstand that, it's okay. But you learn through the years, I guess.
Cool. Thank you guys for taking the time. We've been online for like forever now. This has been amazing. And if you ever need a favor, I'm here. But no, really, it was amazing, and I think this will help a lot of artists, and it helps me anyway. So I hope you have a great time.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah,
Thank you for
me
having